Thank you. Good morning. Our service begins with the lighting of the chalice, a ritual to indicate the beginning of our time together as a faith community in this sacred space. The reading is "We Belong to the Earth" by Noah Self, chief of the Suquamish and Duwamish tribes. This we know: the earth does not belong to us, we belong to the earth. This we know: all things are connected like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons and daughters of the earth. We did not weave the web of life, we are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Good morning. Welcome to all of you that are here in person and all of those who are watching at home or online somewhere. My name is Janice LaRock, and this has been my spiritual home for more than 40 years. We are Unitarian Universalists, a denomination that prefers values over specific beliefs. We have principles to guide us rather than commandments to obey. And we are autonomous rather than governed by a hierarchy. The Unitarian Universalist Association has a set of values in our bylaws that we try to honor, including interdependence, which is the focus of our program today. Interdependence is defined as we honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Our fellowship has been part of the Spring Branch community since we began in 1959. We have been in this building since 1993, and our church is on the ancestral home of the Karankawa and Atakapa people. Our congregation has chosen to be lay-led, which means that the members take care of all aspects of our church life, from managing the office to decorating the Christmas tree. And we appreciate all of you who participate. Our fellowship does not have a minister, which allows the program team to invite a variety of guest speakers to our pulpit. Karla Aguilar is our speaker today. Her family fled the Civil War in El Salvador and migrated when she was only 4. She developed a passion for her cultural heritage, and in 2003, she became a traditional ceremonial dancer of the Mexicato and Conchero traditions, which led to a desire to work towards cultural regeneration of her ancestral lineages. Today, she is a member of the top Pilam Coahuiltecan Nation and its Auteca Paguame families, and supports the regeneration of their social fabric as one of South Texas' Aboriginal tribal nations. As a professional, Karla employs a cultural healing approach to practical problems in public policy and nonprofit organizational development. In her honor, all the readings today come from Native American wisdom. Here's some activities that are happening in the week ahead. Please stay after the service today for a potluck lunch. We can always use help setting up and cleaning up. And we will be collecting for our outreach programs, so please give generously. The book club will meet on Tuesday, December 10th, 10:30 a.m. on Zoom and in person. We will be discussing Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. It's the first time we've ever done a play. We have weekly meditation every Wednesday at 7 p.m. here in the sanctuary. If you'd like to start a spiritual practice, this is a good place to begin. Join us next week for Sunday service, December 15th at 11 a.m. Our speaker will be Reverend Patty Henry, and her topic is, I Did It My Way. Julie Wilson would like to invite all of you to an Alegria Christmas concert party on Friday, December the 20th from 8 to 10. Come and listen to celebrate with the Latin rhythms and jazz blues standards, along with some Christmas classics, plus make your own taco between sets. So hope you'll put that on your calendar. Here at the fellowship. We invite you to spend Christmas Eve here with us, and we will be celebrating the gift of peace. Details for all our events can be found in our weekly e-newsletter, the Fellogram. Please read your Fellogram. Follow our posts on our Facebook page and find links and related information on our website at ufoh.org. And now if you would please set your cell phones to silent mode. We welcome all of you who are here in person today, and also our live streaming guests. If this is your first visit, or if it's your 1000th visit, we're glad you decided to join us this morning. If you want to know more about us, please stop by the information desk after the service, or look over our website. Or stay for lunch. It's the best way to get to know us, because we get to do what we do best, and that is talk and eat. So let's take a few minutes to welcome our visitors while Michael plays. Our opening words this morning are from a Mayan chant, in La Kek. What we're going to do is we're going to read it. I'm going to read it first in Spanish and then in English. And after I read it in English, I want you to repeat what I tell you in English. Tú eres mi otro yo. You are my other me. You are my other me. Si te hago daño a ti, if I do harm to you, if I do harm to you, me hago daño a mí mismo, I do harm to myself, do harm to myself. Si te amo y respeto, if I love and respect you, if I love and respect you, me amo y respeto yo, I love and respect myself. I love and respect myself. And now if you would, please get out your teal hymnals. And we'll turn to hymn number 1051, We Are, and let's stand as you are able. We Are, number 1051.
For each child that's born sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandfather's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
You see that? Our responsive reading today is in the gray hymnal, so let's get out the gray hymnal and turn to the back. Reading number 518, Grandfather, which is an Ojibwe prayer. I'll wait. 518. So please read the italicized portions with me. Grandfather, look at our brokenness. We know that in all creation, only the human family has strayed from the sacred way. We know that we are the ones who are divided. We are the ones who must come back together to walk in the sacred way. Grandfather, Sacred One, teach us love, compassion, and honor, that we may heal the earth and heal each other. Thank you. Fellowship is a community where we care about each other deeply. To share your joys and sorrows, please form a line next to the cellist quilt and get in line and be drop a stone into the water and tell us about the milestones in your life. Please tell us your name, speak clearly into the mic, and try to be brief to give everybody a chance to speak.
Good morning, my name is Ted Weisgall. The milestone that I celebrated this past week was my 80th birthday. And one of the things that I did to celebrate it was to play doubles pickleball and win 11-0 against our opponents. I also had a significant conversation a few days ago, and it was with someone who is very involved in the Israeli-Palestinian issue, and we are beginning to work on having a debate on one-state solution versus two-state solutions. I will keep you posted.
Excuse me, my name is Jackson Allers. One of the milestones that I'd like to present today, December 6th, would have been my father's 85th birthday. So he's not here to celebrate that, but I celebrate him nonetheless. So there's that. I'd also like to celebrate a massive milestone after 40 years of oppressive rule. The Assad family has finally fled Syria, and Syria has become a state again. What that means, we don't know, but certainly that's something to celebrate. And then maybe may I also bring this to mind that while that's a milestone to celebrate, there's a tentative ceasefire in Lebanon we hope lasts, and for God's sakes, after however many months of a genocide, could that please stop? So we put the prayers out there for the Palestinian people.
Katie Halberman. I'm dropping a stone for Barbara Derrick. She was a longtime member of this fellowship. She's in assisted living now, and right now she's in the hospital facing some serious surgery.
I'm Bob Wiener. I celebrate the fact my son and his wife had a baby shower the other day, and it's nice to see young people married, and one or two had children, and it's another generation. It was nice to be an old person around the young people.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm Jimmy Dunn, and Bob, that makes you a grandfather now. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about Notre Dame over in Paris. The cathedral had a horrible fire 5 years ago. It was nearly destroyed, but it's back now after that 2019 fire. That church is 861 years old. Much older than this church. Anyway, it's a 12th century church that cost $900 million to rebuild it, and 2,000 workers did the job. So we're happy that Notre Dame is back, and that's also a warning about be careful about fires. Don't have any fires around here. Be careful with candles, fires that might damage this church. We all need to be very careful about that. And Dodie also had her birthday recently. So happy birthday to Dodie. She's a young 96. And happy birthday again to Ted. 2 birthdays. Okay, that's it for today.
I'd like to drop one stone for our AV club, who has worked really hard to make this live streaming happen. Fingers crossed. One more stone I'd like to drop for all the joys and concerns that were left unspoken today. Let's take a moment to think about all of those. This is the second Sunday of Advent, the beginning of the Christian church year, looking forward towards the birth of Jesus and celebration of spiritual light. It's a part of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. Each week until Christmas, we light a new candle on the Advent wreath. The circle of greenery reminds us of the eternal cycle of life. And the candles remind us that we are called to emit our glow amid the pain and suffering facing our world. The light of Advent grows brighter each week, guiding us towards personal peace, shared joy, and more love. This morning, we light the second candle as a symbol of our longing for peace. We bring our hope into the world when we practice peacemaking. Our caring community aspires to be a source of freedom from violence and exclusion. Together, may we strive to create a lasting peace. Our centering hymn today, you don't have to stand for this one, is in the Teal hymnal. It's number 1069. Sing it twice.
Ancient mother, I hear you calling. Ancient mother,
Our offering statement today is a Pueblo blessing. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree that stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to the hand of your neighbor, even when you are apart. We'll now take the offering. Meditation today, I Am Iktomi, is by John Trudell, who is of Lakota and Mexican descent. Please feel free to close your eyes, get comfortable, take some deep breaths, and let go of the many thoughts that drift through your mind. Imagine running out of imagine, mistaking authority for power, weaving life's free spirit into patterns of control in the reality of many realities. How we see what we see affects the quality of our reality. We are children of earth and sky, DNA descendant, now ancestor, human being, physical spirit, bone, flesh, blood as spirit, metal, mineral, water as spirit. We are in time and space, but we're from beyond time and space. The past is part of the present. The future is part of the present. Life and being are interwoven. We are the DNA of Earth, Moon, planets, stars. We are related to the universal creator created creation. Spirit and intelligence with clarity, being and human as power. We are part of the memories of evolution. These memories carry knowledge. These memories carry our identity. Beneath race, gender, class, age. Beneath citizen, business, state, religion, we are human beings. And these memories are trying to remind us, human beings, it's time to rise up and remember who we are. Namaste. Now I'd like to please welcome Karla Aguilar.
I'm putting a timer. Watch out when I get on a good one. You know, in Spanish, sometimes we say, ¿para qué me invitan si saben cómo me pongo? Which roughly means, you know, you invite somebody to a party and, you know how they get. So, thank you. Thank you all so much for the moment. Ometeo, Tlasokamati, Impaldemuani, Moyokoyani, Teyokoyani. Tlasokamati for this day, Mother, Father, God, grandmothers and grandfathers, and give thanks for all of the forces of life that allowed us to be here today. Give thanks to the guardians of the four directions for the essences of life that allow us to move and to breathe and to be nourished. Give thanks wholeheartedly for this day in our lives and the ability to come here to be with you all and to share a good word. Thank you to creation and all of its manifestations, and this place that we find ourselves in this morning, this place that we now call Houston, on this land that we now call Texas, this Taap, this land here also known to the Karankawa, Tankawa, Ishak, Atakpa as Akokisa, among other names that will resurface as researchers continue to do their work. Tlasokamati to all of the elders and sustainers of this spiritual community that nourishes hearts and spirits every day in your own ways. Many thanks for that spirit of service. May continue to sustain these traditions and this way of moving with values and profound humanity. I present myself to you all this morning as a very human, very deeply flawed and imperfect student of life, working really hard to figure things out as best as I can, along with my peers and my loved ones over decades, right? That through courageous living has led me to leave the church at 21 after having considered religious service in my teens. Migrating from El Salvador with a deeply cultural Catholic household meant that we didn't question anything. But at some point, the pretty little picture fell apart and there was no going back. Living in Mexico City at 21 years of age during my junior year while a student at the University of St. Thomas radicalized my tender heart, where living in Mexico City, I soaked up the images and writings of the Subcomandante Marcos and the Zapatistas. That to me was wild how a rebel indigenous army could take over city centers in Chiapas and boot out corrupt civil servants. To this day, this many years later, those communities are somehow still thriving and living on their own terms, sustained by their values and their relationship to the land, and allowing themselves, making space for themselves to continue to be as indigenous people as they are. And those communities are still threatened because of that unwillingness to adhere to this cultural sickness and destruction of nature that Americanization brings. I met Jackson a couple of years after that, after coming back to the United States, when I was just starting to do radio at KPFT, where under the wings of Shannon Young and Renee Feltz, I went on to co-produce the Noticiero KPFT, which was a wholly independently produced Spanish language news magazine that I poured my heart into, while also involved in organizing through the Indie Media Collective, doing performance poetry, and using and doing workshops where I used these amazing posters that were created by the Beehive Collective as an instrument to talk about neocolonialism. And for example, one of those posters was on Plan Colombia. If you'll think back to that maybe 20 years ago, where as a young age I realized that it wasn't about reducing drugs coming into our neighborhoods, but rather the sale of military hardware through so-called aid packages. And I would come to find out that those aid packages is how our foreign policy has its grip and its chokehold on so many of our countries around the globe. with the different democracy promotion programs and economic development strategies that were pushed on these countries, including my own El Salvador, where these extractive models continue to favor corporate machinery and are just sucking the world dry. It was after presenting this workshop on neocolonialism at a Mecha conference where I was invited to a sweat lodge by some friends. This is where I crawled into that womb of Mother Earth for the first time, and my heart was changed forever. I had always been interested in my ancestry and fascinated by the culture that I came from originally, because I never really liked it here in the United States. But what I had always been trying to find my way back to was to find my way back to God. How was I going to reconcile this path to God again if I couldn't say an Our Father anymore, because I would get this gnarly knot in my throat? It hurt. It was painful to be distanced from having a way to pray. I was going to meditation classes since I was 18 years old, reading about the Tao, reading about Buddhism, attending other cultural ceremonies, but it just wasn't enough. I needed to find my way, my communication again with God. Because at that point, I started learning what they had done to us as part of colonization, and I couldn't return to the church, though I was enrolled at a Catholic university. I had learned too much about the political economy of the church, and I couldn't reconcile with how I felt sitting in those churches where I would go to sit and pray. The tears would stream down my cheeks as I could sense the pain and the densities underneath the floors of these colonial churches built on top of our temples with the dismembered blocks of perfectly carved stones of our teocalis. At this point in my life, the energy of the danza was overwhelmingly magnetic to me as someone who loves to dance. Then I realized that I had stepped into something that now I could never imagine my life without. And I submit my most heartfelt gratitude and respect to all of my teachers and friends, companions on this journey of life who have shared their words of wisdom, kindness, compassion, faith, and encouragement, along with the insights of their stories that continue to echo within me. There's too many to mention, but I acknowledge that I am truly the composite of hundreds of amazing people and experiences from this lifetime, and the deep and beautiful ancestry that makes me who I am. I do my best to honor you all by walking in a harmonious and helpful way. To them, to all of those teachers, I say Tlazokamati, thank you, Naletsam, gracias for all of the care, patience, support, and trust bestowed upon me. I'm humbled to have walked the path that I have to get here today to share a word with you all. Much of what I have learned, much of what I have sacrificed to be able to be close to teachers to learn are things that should no longer exist. It was an effort, a strategic effort to burn away everything that we knew about our ancestral culture. And so I recognize the depth of value that there is in me being able to learn these things and give them life once more through me. So I say, Tlazokamati Palnemoa, and say thanks to the Spirit and that which gives us life. And we give thanks for the understanding, for the changing of the seasons, right? Where this teaching, where we learn that change is the only constant, that there is a time for everything in life, and that everything in nature is cycles and spirals, fractals and tessellations. Nature and experience are master teachers. So with the deepest respect, I share perspectives that are rooted in sacred ancestral knowledge that I've dedicated myself to over the last 20 years. And acknowledging how it is that the ancestors have jokes. I realized that today's date in our ancestral calendar is Chikome Malinali, which is 7 grass, which is the wild grasses that grow tall, and every season, every winter that comes along, they wither and they fall away. But boy, those roots are so strong. Every season they come back. You can mow them down, you can burn them out, boy, but they keep coming back. And so in that spirit of 7 Malinali, that those grasses that are wild and their roots are so deep and profound, from that one we learn the spirit of resilience. The teacher of resilience comes from that reminder that as long as your roots are deeply enmeshed and intertwined, you will always come back. And I have confidence as a living practitioner of ancient knowledge that when there is truth, where there is that essence of life, that has become something that is unstoppable, and it just resurges as a force of nature. And so in the spirit of that Meyawal, guardian force of Malinali, I share the following: that the gravity of the situation that we are in as a people is not lost on me. I often feel the clenching in my throat, sometimes wanting to burst through with wails and rageful screams to reflect the searing rage that I know I have found a way to contain behind layers of insulation. The roots of my spiritual path are deeply woven by powerful threads that are resistant to genocide. This that we share today with our hearts wide open is a matter of personal responsibility to the spirit of life that sustains us. I'll name directly that the so-called structures that are supposed to give us our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, those structures are now decayed and led by hollowed out, greedy, insatiable addicts that has resulted in a national culture of consumption and destruction. This resulting imbalance of the planet will be costly, and our adaptation is urgent. And here is where the total interruption of the program is required. None of what we are being offered is good for the people or for the planet. This model of society that we've been fed is showing itself to not have any other solutions for us other than more police, more prisons, and more oppression as their prescription to the litany of wrongs in our country. Who would have thought that corporate CEOs would get to up their security protocols after this pain and rage finally needed to be addressed by violence? The deep, deep issues that we have in this country cannot be solved by the prescriptions that they're giving us. But what we do have is ways of moving forward. We do have something to grab onto as this pretty little picture begins to fall apart for more and more people. These trees around us, these trees, they get it. They understand. Beneath us, their roots penetrate far and wide along this place that we call Spring Branch. These once wooded areas are now mostly concrete, but underground, they hold each other through mycelial networks. These powerful conduits of moisture and information move on a wholly different timeline than we humans. Our conditioning says that we're individuals and we have individual rights. They're even codified, right? But in this formula of individualism, where every person for themselves, that logic creates a culture of people who are disconnected to one another. And I'd even argue we actually move around to some degree in a disembodied state. And I own that I've been there myself as well, because sometimes we have to disassociate to survive, and that's very real for a lot of people. My path of awakening and restoring myself through living out my Nawa Indigenous practices through ceremonial dance, overnight rituals, many-day rituals, and other various prayerful spaces where we learn by doing, by applying teachings through artistry, one way or another, seeding cultural regeneration through ancestral dignification. This reclamation of spaces and reclamation of ourselves has become a mission in itself. I've been forever seeking the concepts to interrupt the madness that I've grown up in a country that's always finding a way to be at war, but never having enough to feed the poor. This necessary shift of our perspectives to a matrifocal lens requires that we unlearn a whole lot of things. When we look at the social structures and value systems of Mesoamerican societies, for example, there is a marked difference in how people viewed themselves. Yes, you exist as an individual, but you exist as an individual that is responsible to take care of yourself and to identify and tend to your own needs. But the thing is that you do that in order to be able to carry out a healthy relationship with others. That matter of figuring out how to live in right relationship with yourself is a matter of personal responsibility. Then that matter of living in right relationship with one another is a responsibility. To live in right relationship with all of those around us is a personal responsibility. To live in right relationship with the land and that which gives us life is a personal responsibility. To live in right relationship with the waters that allow for life to exist is a personal responsibility. To provide for the safety and well-being of children, wherever they may be, whoever they may be, is a personal responsibility. To ensure that the next generation has the ability to grow and live freely, this is also a personal responsibility. But we fail them and we fail us if we don't assume those responsibilities again to ourselves, to each other, to restore systems of interdependence in real, tangible, and practical ways. For many of us, we find guidance from the examples in nature that define everything in systems and relationships. Each element serves its purpose to the best of its ability for the entire system to flux in a regenerative manner. We are made to regenerate. This is something that the spirals of nature teach us all the time. And we have often forgotten about that spiral and that ability to be able to regenerate because we're conditioned to think in this place of linear time and how everything just instead moves in lines, but nothing in nature moves in lines. We can learn to reapply this wisdom of interdependence by once again assuming responsibilities for each other and our relationships to the land and all the forces of life. For it is here that true power awaits us, wanting for us to remember again our responsibilities, because so many of those rights that are codified from above can also be taken away. And we know very well, I know very well, that many of those rights don't apply to all of us anyway. And so we begin with ourselves and the responsibilities that we have to ourselves and to the life and that spirit of life that is. the reason why we're here today. And so with that, I say thank you once more for this opportunity to come and share a good word with you all. And I ask you, take with you this matter of questioning for yourselves. How do you hold your responsibilities to live in right relation with your own spirit? How do you live in right relation with the land underneath you that we just happen to be visitors on? These trees and all those things that grow here around us are far older than whatever Six Flags have flown over Texas. What is our responsibility to those that are coming behind us? And how is it that we carry that forth every day? Thank you.
Thank you, Karla. Let's sing our closing hymn in the blue hymnal, number 1064, Blue Boat Home, which is all about our earth. 1064, stand if you're able.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, breathe the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat.
Thank you all for coming to our service today. Please remember to stay for potluck lunch. Oh yes, and you can help us put out the tables and chairs too. Our closing words are from a Navajo prayer. May it be beautiful from here, my heavenly great spirit. There shall be blessings, Mother Earth, Father Sky, to the direction of the early morning eastern white dawn, southern blue, western evening yellow, northern darkness night. I walk in beauty with beauty before me, beauty behind me. I walk in beauty with beauty above me and beauty below me. I shall be in harmony and live in happiness with all things that exist. Beauty has come again. Hojo Nahastle. Beauty has come again. Beauty has come again. Go in peace.